I was at the park today, I think around 2 to 2:30, I believe. Spent half an hour at the park. Um, Is it in a perfect condition? Absolutely not. I've seen some pictures from staff. I think that's what I saw over there. There were some issues that I've seen I was not happy with. The broken fence is one of them. But definitely, there is a lot of work. People were fixing the sidewalks. The water line was broken and everybody was there. But there was one significant story that I would like to share with you. And the gentleman talked about all the problems can be solved with the right attitude. And I think I agree with you on that. And I think that's the direction we need to take. There has been a meeting on March 11, and there was an additional meeting on March 24th. And not only that, but both parties agreed to meet on an ongoing basis. I drove on most of the streets today because I want to be fair. I mean, $11 could be a lot of money for some folks, and I don't disagree with that. It's tough economic times on everybody. However, yes, June Rady and I were both present when she said the short form has been a successful way to get things done and improve the parks in general. And Larry, yes, I agree with you. My position is that 75% of the CPI, the $10, $11 additional a month, would help the mobile home park owners continue to improve the living conditions. The story that I want to share with you, I walked into the office to look at the pool and the lady sitting there. There were about like 3, 4 kids walk in, storm inside, and went to the lady, and everyone gave her a big hug. And then I was just watching, and and then they wanted something, I don't know, a cup for water or something. She was on the phone. She just went out and then gave them cups, and they had waters and hugs. And after they left, I said, "You have a nice family." I thought they were her kids. She said, "No, these are people who live in the park." This was from the heart. Trust me, this was from the heart. And I think this is the attitude that we want to support to get things done. I think some of the statements have been exaggerated. Some of the issues have been valid. I did not see the life-threatening issues at the park. I did see the fence that is broken. Actually, this the picture that was there. And I did say that the fence has to be fixed the last time. I would like to make a condition that the fence is fixed this time before we pass the increase. And I would support the staff recommendation condition upon fixing the broken fence, because that is an issue that has to be done. It is not a health and safety issue. We cannot stop the increase based on a broken fence, but I think this is something that has to be done, and I will making a condition of support to the staff recommendation.
Other comments? Go ahead, Olga.
Yeah, actually, I certainly will not support an increase in the rent, because I think the fact that the list is so long of all the disrepair, of all the years, that clearly there hasn't been standard maintenance, that just shows a lack of concern for your residents. And I know with the mobile home rent hearings, we always have this overlap between what the park owners' rights are and what the park residents' rights are. And I'd venture to say that the residents individually invest and more in the park than the park owner does, collectively. The value of their homes they pay for, they repair their own homes, they paint their own homes. Everything that they do is their investment in that same park, and that there needs to be better symmetry. And there are, by the way, some parks that everybody's happy in, and they'll come here and accept willingly the rent increase because it's fair and they're happy and they enjoy their quality of life in their park. But This is the longest list of violations I've ever seen for a mobile home park rent increase hearing, and a lot of them are egregious. I think that some of the pictures we saw are beautiful, the ones in the staff reports, but the ones that the residents brought with the washers and dryers that are probably older than I am need to be addressed in a way that is responsive to your customers. The park owner has customers. Those are the park residents. To have the pool break for 6 weeks sounds excessive, but then again at City Hall we have a water fountain that's still not on. So, things happen, but it seems that they have plenty of examples of how long it takes to get around to stuff to fix, and handrails, and really to not have a working fire alarm in the Girl Scout room. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that really should have been addressed, not because you had a mobile home inspection, just because you want to fix those things. So I think the residents were generous in offering a 1.5% increase, but under these circumstances, I just don't see that this park deserves the increase, that I think it should work the other way around. You should earn the increase. And if you can come back with a future list that is not this long, that has really some minimal things on it, then maybe I could see my way to saying you've done good. But in the meantime, even just to have 10 burnt out light posts throughout the park, it just demonstrates how little concern or how little care has been placed in maintaining the park to an adequate standard. It's not a pleasant situation to be in if you're a resident and you feel like you're paying what's being asked of you and you're not getting what was promised to you when you signed your contract: pool service, washer and dryer, lighting. The example that we saw, a picture of the cracked sidewalk that was patched, that's not, I think, a good job done. It might pass your code inspection and it might be legally enough, but it's not what people expect of facilities around them. Certainly if the city had a sidewalk that looked like that, we would find our way to replacing it. And we do it routinely every time it's brought to our attention. Here, clearly it sounds like these kinds of violations have been brought to your attention, and nothing has been done. If Sam Abed said 2 years ago to fix the fence and you didn't fix it, and now he's telling you better fix it again, I mean, it really shows that you don't really do what is asked of you from the Rent Review Board, which is the council. So I'm not going to fall for the broken fence to be fixed. I will expect that the next time you come forward for a rent hearing, if I'm still here, that the list will not be this long and that the violations will be really minimal, if any. But I think this is a great opportunity for the park owner to overachieve, come back and prove that you were deserving in the first place. So I will not support any rent increase under these conditions.
Well, first of all, I don't recall in 3.5 years that anybody's ever come here happy and gleefully.
We did
But the fact of the matter is, there have been situations where there's been little or no protests, and people have understood it, and there's been good faith exercised by the park owner to keep it in condition. My concern is, and I drove out there through the weekend and didn't spend as much time as Mr. Abbott did, but going through it, that it is, when you look at some of these things closely, and I didn't go in to look at the extensive violations that are listed here in the staff report, and that's the things that I think I'm concerned about. I think